Alrighty, let's get straight into the meat and potatoes. What's going on, everybody out there? YouTube world, YouTube land. I am Jay Jones, and
It's gonna be a cold summer.
welcome to the Cold Summer Podcast. Well, here you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, Kamala Harris is going to be the Democratic nominee. We're getting straight into the meat and potatoes on this, right? So if you want to hear the truth and you want to hear the real, well, this is where you're going to get it. All right. So Joe Biden has completely dropped out of the race. He's been pushed out of his own Democratic Party, which is so democratic of them, isn't it? It's so democratic of the Democratic Party to kick their opponent out because of the money, right? Because Joe Biden wasn't able to get them to release that $90 million that the donors had. So it's all about money, and they need people to start writing those checks because I bet you people are getting paid with that money, right? So people were getting hungry over there on the Democratic side. So they did something that was very unethical, and they kicked Joe Biden out, right? And did he even realize what he did? Who knows? Sleepy Joe will know in the morning what happened, right? So now you got Kamala Harris, right? This is what immediately after the debate, people were just wanting to get Kamala Harris to be the next candidate, right? Like immediately after, they were like, Joe Biden did so bad, Democrats are scared, and Kamala Harris did a post interview with CNN, and they were just like, see, that's what we're looking for, right? Just the fact that she was just more vicious and had a little bit more vigor in her voice. They wanted someone like Kamala Harris. And this is exactly what they got. The Democrats are not slick here. All right. This seems to be all designed. It's all designed. I think the early debate was designed. I think that even the Trump assassination was a design, right? And am I going to say who or what? No, but I just think all of this seems to just be so weird. And we'll talk about timeline here in a second, right? So Kamala Harris, who personally I've heard from some Democrats that are not excited about Kamala Harris' pick. Just spoke to somebody yesterday, and he was like, they better not pick her. Right. And he's undecided at the moment. But he's like, they better not pick her as a candidate. And they are. Right. That's the whole plan. See, she's going to make it seem like she's working for this, and she's not. She's going to be handpicked. And the reason why you go with Kamala Harris, other than having an open election process, is because of the way the money works. From what I was what I was hearing. So I'm going to say I didn't read it. From what I was hearing, there's money that Joe Biden has raised. And the only way that somebody else can get that money that he raised is if it's the vice president. And there was some other red tape involved. So now you choose her so that you can keep that money flowing. Not to mention what Kamala Harris is starting to do is she's starting to work on her quote unquote black side, right? She's going to use the whole black card to get the AKAs, and I guess it's called the Divine Nine. And this is the whole organization of the fraternities and sororities. So now it's all about the Divine Nine, and she's going to tap into that base, right? Which I think I'm going to tell you where the mistake will be for her if she does this. So this is what she's depending on. Getting all the black folks to vote for her again. Let's not make this like 2008. Let's not make this like Barack Obama, that you vote for somebody because she's black, right? You've done that, and you've seen that Barack Obama wasn't even for you, and it was more for, the other community, okay? So don't try to hire or try to vote for people based upon you thinking they're going to do something for your specific community. What are they going to do for America, all right? The polls have shown, and this is early now because now she's elected and now you got to kind of see how things shake out. The polls show that she has a worse approval rating than Biden. Okay. I believe this is all design. And I think at this point, the Democrats have failed at so many attempts to try to get Trump out of there, from taking him off the ballot all the way down to an assassination attempt. And I find it quite odd and quite interesting that Trump assassination attempt happened 2 weekends ago or 2 weeks ago. And Joe Biden was adamant that he was not getting out of this race. And all of a sudden, it's a failed attempt. And not even a week and a half later, he steps down. Do y'all not see something that's odd here, right? Let's go through the timeline. The presidential debate happens. He does horrific. And immediately after that horrific debate, Kamala Harris has a post interview with CNN. Okay. And then from there, from CNN, they're all saying, well, let's wait 2 weeks to see what the polls are going to say, because we got to wait 2 weeks for the polls. They kept saying they need to wait 2 weeks. What happened 2 weeks after the debate, 2.5 weeks after? There's a Trump assassination, attempted a Trump assassination, right?
Sensational.
It's weird. And then what happens 2 weeks after that? Joe Biden drops out of the race, and now Kamala Harris is the main candidate. So there's way too many things moving at one time for me not to pay attention to everything. And this is just my point of view, y'all. This is not for you to take on and say conspiracy theorists or whatever, but I find it quite odd that the timing is impeccable.
Sensational.
The timing of everything is impeccable. Let's try to get Trump, convicted of felons before the election. Let's try to get him in jail before the elections. I mean, the timing of everything is just impeccable. Y'all don't ever think things just happen or people are trying to do things for a certain reason? I do. So my thoughts on Kamala Harris is, I'm gonna wait and see what happens here, right? I do believe she's going to try to tap into the black crowd because she thinks that she's going to be accepted there, right? She just did a whole BET skit with Taraji P. Henson. Like, I think this was all designed and positioned a certain way for her. But I think, again, the Democratic Party may have made a misstep, right? And I think when you're thinking too much about the money and trying to get that money in, you make harsh decisions. And I think they may have made a harsh decision because you've kicked out Joe Biden, who is your president now. And then you're electing Kamala Harris. Well, so many people for so long were already thinking that Kamala Harris was running the White House anyway. The debate will be a big story here. I think they will try to paint Trump as like a sexist, and I got a feeling they're going to try to make it seem like he's so mean to women because he may really destroy Kamala Harris in a debate. All right. And wait a minute. Let's take this all the way back. Do y'all remember when Kamala Harris was running up against Joe Biden? Do y'all remember that? And do y'all remember when she called Joe Biden a racist? She called him that. And then, of course, he chose her as a VP because politics is a weird game. It's about position. It's not really about who they like. It's all about position. So you choose Kamala Harris to get the black vote and the black woman vote. But she called Joe Biden racist. On top of that, she had to drop out of the race, out of the primary race. She didn't have good approval ratings. And that was 4 years ago. And things do change. But 4 years ago, and then now you are the vice president, and one of your main duties is taking care of the border. How many millions of people have entered through the border? Yikes. Right? A lot. What is one of the main issues in this election for 2024? One of the hottest issues is immigration, is the migrants. So now you've elected someone to run for your party that was responsible for one of the main issues that's happening today. That's your primary candidate. Who's responsible for that? Yikes. So I think the Dems may have made a misstep again. Now you're asking questions such as, who is our vice president going to be now? Right? Who's our VP going to be now? Like, you guys have to figure out everything now within a certain period of time, and everybody has to be on board. So what happens if you have a bunch of Democrats that are not on board? So quite a few things to digest here. New information. I think we wait and see how things go. There's already ads out there already that Kamala Harris is running, and they knew what was coming, man. Like, the whole COVID thing with Joe Biden was just, that was so fake. I think even Ray Charles could see that coming, right?
Sensational.
I think he could see that coming. And then he steps down right after. Like, people were saying this like 2 weeks before Joe Biden even caught COVID. They weren't saying COVID specifically, but they were saying, yeah, they'll do something, then she'll step into place. And here we go. So, I mean, y'all think we're stupid. You guys really think we're dumb out here. We know what you guys are trying to do. I personally know, because I know it's about the money. It's about the checks, and that's what they need. And that's what was stopping. The Democratic Party was drying up. And so now there's a new life, right? And so it's like getting a new toy, right? And then you got this new toy, and you're excited to play with this new toy until you start figuring out, like, either you get bored with the toy or the toy is really not that good. And I think over these next, 100 or so days, Kamala Harris is going to have to prove herself. So right now it's a new toy feel, right? It's the new car feel until you got to start paying that car note, and then it gets annoying, right? And then you got to see how she does in the debate. You got to see how she does with the Democratic Party. You got to see how she does with a lot of things, and then with her VP pick. And then some people may get tired of her, right? So I will kind of sit back and I will watch and see. I think the Democratic Party did Joe Biden wrong. Wrong. But I think we'll talk about them in the next video, of how non-democratic it was, how unethical it is to do it like that, So let's talk about it. Just kind of my unfiltered thoughts about everything kind of unfolding after yesterday. Kamala Harris is pretty much on her way to being the nominee. She didn't earn her way there because she didn't actually, she lost in the primary back when Joe Biden was running, and there was no primary for Joe Biden because he was supposed to be the candidate. So I think the Democrats are very confused. I think that they were trying to play chess, but then so many things are falling apart for them that they're playing defense, right? And so that's constantly what I see the Democrats are doing, is that they're playing defense. Trump is playing offense because he's like, oh, well, I destroyed him in the debate, so there's nothing else for me to do other than watch my opponent destroy himself, which he did. So technically, Trump just beat Joe Biden. He forced him to drop out because after the debate is the only reason why things started to unravel. Had the debate not happened, they would still be saying, okay, he's good, he's competent. But after the debate, it brought everything to light, and then that's when they started playing defense. And that's when you see Trump out on the golf course doing what he does. And then he gets an assassination attempt. He gets up, he goes back to his convention, elects his VP, gets his speech. He's still on offense. Every move that's being made is a defensive move by the Democrats. All right. Let me know your guys' thoughts below. I love when you guys comment. But again, these are just kind of like my unfiltered thoughts just kind of coming out. I just wanted to make this video because this is how I feel. This is how I feel. And I'll make one more video just about the Democrats and just their movements. All right. So I'm gonna see y'all at work. Let's get out of here. Like I say after every video, this is chess, not checkers. I'm gonna see y'all at work.
It's gonna be a